I have been playing one of the shittiest games of all time. Why? Because I'm fucking stupid. Alright, let's talk about Friday the 13th for the NES. For the last few days I've been playing this thing, sadly, and I have a few things to say about it before we explore exactly how it was I went about beating this, whatever it is. My personal experience with the game went as follows. When I was a wee lad, like most people, I played this game. I lived in Mays Landing, New Jersey until I was about 9 years old, and there was a video rental store a few miles from our house where you could rent Nintendo tapes. I remember renting this game and being really confused by it, but thinking it was still cool because it was Friday the 13th. And I was allowed to play it because it was a Nintendo tape. Years later, after playing it briefly, I decided that it sucked ass and I was never going to touch it again. Then a few weeks ago, my friend Nick said,
"Hey dude, I think we should make a video about Friday the 13th.
I protested, but he talked me into it. We spent some hours playing the game together and we got our asses beat because we had no idea what the fuck we were doing. Fuck this game. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, I hate this game. Oh, just fuck this game.
Fuck my ass, dude.
Dude, fuck this game. Oh, God! Oh! Dude, I almost threw up.
It's gross, dude.
Fuck this game with a torch.
With a torch.
Later, I went back to it alone. I felt defeated and it bothered me. Now I had to beat Friday the 13th and make this video. I did some reading online into how to go about beating the game. I'll tell you what I know about that later. But as I learned more about it and played way too much of it, something dawned on me. This game isn't meant to be beaten. You're not supposed to win at all. Ever. It's a different kind of experience. To be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure this is even really a game. Not in the sense a lot of people might be thinking. Allow me to explain myself. After learning a thing or two about how this game works and what one must do to actually beat this game, I started to get the feeling that it wasn't meant to be beaten. It wasn't Friday the 13th's purpose to be learned and played through like Mega Man or Castlevania. I think it was really designed just to be this thing that you put in your Nintendo in the dark with a group of your friends so you could all scream and giggle like little girls when Jason popped out at you.
Oh my god, dude. He's raping me.
The reason I say this is because this game is so fucking confusing. Everything about it hardly makes any sense, unless you only want to turn it on, turn off the lights, and run around waiting for Jason to murder you and your friends. Then it does make sense, because it really seems to me like the creators of this game went out of their way to confuse the shit out of us, so we'd all get murdered by Jason Voorhees. Like, it really feels like the goal of the game is to be murdered by Jason. I mean, just think about it. It's very possible that somebody high up in the creation of this thing was thinking exactly that. And in that respect, it's actually a lot like the actual slasher flicks from the 1980s. It's very possible Friday the 13th wasn't meant to be approached like other games we're used to. Maybe there's a comment being made here by the developers. Maybe they were telling all us kids in life there is death, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not even mommy and daddy can save you from death. In a moment, I'm going to talk about some of the mechanics of the game and maybe you'll agree with me. Maybe not though, and that's fine too. But keep in mind though, this game was made by LJN, and LJN was primarily a fucking toy company. You see, Capcom made video games, Tecmo made video games, Sunsoft made video games, LJN made fucking toys. What makes this game truly bizarre, though, is that it's evident, in my opinion, that somebody involved in the creation of Friday the 13th for the NES did really want to make a good game. Because when you start to learn about what's going on in this game, it's kind of apparent that there are actually some really cool ideas here. There's some shit going on until you decide that you're actually going to beat the game, and as the player, that's where the trouble fucking begins. So let's talk about that, shall we? Okay, so what in the name of Christ nipples is going on here? You begin with 6 playable characters, and all but 2 of them are almost completely fucking useless. Just pick one of the useful characters, either Mark or Chrissy. Forget everyone else for now, they're all fucking in the woods for all we care. Most of us, I think, have played this game before and know the basics, but for anyone who might not, this is what's happening in this mess. Here's your map. You move around the map and so does Jason. Jason is going to go into random cabins and murder children and your shitty playable counselors, because that's what he does. Unless you go to his location and fight him off. You'll know he's killing kids because of this unpleasant alarm sound. The entire game is split into 3 days. You will progress to the next day only when you've defeated Jason. If you want to actually beat this game, and I have no fucking idea why you'd want to subject yourself to this shit, honestly, I think you're better off just paying a midget to headbutt you in the balls. It's much easier and you're going to get the same basic result. Now, the easiest way to defeat Jason is with the torch. You need to get the torch. If you're going to actually do that though, you need to collect some items first. While you're collecting these items, Jason is going to try and kill kids and counselors. In my opinion, on the first day, it's a good idea to defend all your kids and your counselors, because on the second and third days, you're actually going to need them as bait. And once they're all dead, the game is over. More on that later. You can actually get these items while you're saving kids and counselors, so try not to be too stressed here. So here's what you want to do. Kill about 4 zombies and you should get the lighter. Next, you just want to jump around. If you're heading to where Jason is to save kids, just jump the whole way there. You're looking for 2 things, the knife and the key. You need these. And the way you get them is by fucking jumping. They will just appear if you just jump around, okay? Also, if you're lucky, you'll pick up some bottles with red shit in them. I think it's blood. I think you're feeding off the blood of small animals to give you powers to defeat Jason, but that's just me. Jason will constantly be attacking kids and it gets really annoying real fucking fast. Real fast. What you can do, actually, is jump into some of these small cabins here, and once inside, if you hit the start button, you can jump to another counselor, and use that counselor to fight off Jason. I only use this as kind of a warp, so you're not parading back and forth around the map for an hour. Once you fight Jason off, though, switch back to your main character and continue the quest for the torch. Now, once you've gotten the lighter, knife, and key, head to this cabin here. Go inside, go forward once, then turn right once. You'll see a note. Hit select and take it. Go into the woods. Great. Leave the cabin. Your next stop is the fucking woods right here. Once you go into the woods, go right and head up twice. Now, since you have the key, you can go forward. So go through the door and then turn right. Yay, another note. Once you get this note, head back to the cabin. Isn't this fun? And the clues are so clear. Look, Jason gets hurt by fire. No fucking shit. To get out of the woods, head right, then down, then right again, and then down. Once you're back in the cabin, go forward once and turn right twice to face the door. There's your fucking torch. Now you're ready to rock some ass. Now comes the infuriatingly frustrating part of this fucking game. You have to find Jason. You really need to find him on the road though, because burning Jason down inside the cabin is a bitch, especially on day 2 and 3. Seriously, I don't recommend it. Jason is constantly moving around the map. On the outside ring, he goes counterclockwise. On the inside rings, I think, he goes clockwise. Now, whether or not he decides to take any of these pathways is completely fucking random. In fact, knowing what I just told you, it still feels as though his movements are completely fucking random. I get the feeling that the speed at which he moves around the map changes or something. I really fucking don't know. But now that I have the torch here, I wait for him to go into a cabin, because then we'll know where this dick licker is. When he goes into the cabin, you want to go straight there and fight him off. Go outside immediately and try to catch him on the road. If you're on the outer ring, you want to go right to catch up to Jason immediately. If you're on the inner ring, you want to go left. And sometimes, I have no idea why, he just fucking disappears. Partly because you never know if he's going to take one of the pathways or not. So this becomes a guessing game that depends solely on luck. Seriously, that's all at this point it is. Because once you catch his ass on the road, just spam those torches on him until he runs away. It's actually pretty easy. You can catch him again almost immediately if you move quick enough in the direction he's headed. Once you diminish Jason's health bar completely, it's on to day 2. The good thing though about whenever you make it to the next day is that you get your health back completely, because you're gonna kinda need it, because you will take a lot of damage when fighting Jason on the road. Now on day 2, in my opinion, it's kind of a good idea to try not to fight Jason at all in any of the cabins. He's brutally difficult on day 2 and 3 inside the cabins. And this is why you want to have all your kids and counselors alive at this point, because now they're bait. Fuck them, they're useless anyway. But you have to catch and kill Jason before he murders everyone, or the game is over. I usually head to the outer ring and head left. The idea is that if Jason is on the outer ring moving counterclockwise, I want to go clockwise, because then maybe we'll collide somewhere and I'll get to fight him on the road. But again, this is all pretty much luck based, because where Jason starts at the beginning of the day is totally random. It's all fucking random. And it's a bitch to find this asshole. Even when he goes into a cabin, you'll find yourself waiting outside for him to fight you on the road, and he won't. He'll go right past you somehow, and then all of a sudden he's on the other side of the fucking map. None of this makes any fucking sense, but this is how the game works, and this is what you're dealing with if you want to actually beat it. This is why it really feels as though this game isn't even a game. This is nonsense. Sure, you can go light the fireplaces, which keeps Jason out of those cabins, but that won't help you because you'll end up having to fight him inside a cabin if you don't catch him on the road anyway. And yeah, I dare you to kill Jason in the cabins on day 2 and 3. I've seen people do it, but really, just try it. You can get the sweater from killing Jason's mother in the cave, but really that doesn't matter either if you can't catch him on the road, trust me. This is all random, luck-based horse shit. This isn't a game, it's some kind of fucking toy. It's just another LJN fucking toy. So anyway, let's say you're able to find Jason because really you lucked out like I did here and you beat him on the 3rd day and you actually beat the game. This is your reward. Look at that. You get that one shitty screen, probably because somebody at Nintendo said, you guys need to put some kind of fucking ending on this game. So they slapped this on it and said to themselves, ending? Fine, here's your fucking ending. Why does it need an ending? It doesn't need a fucking ending. It's a fucking toy. Fuck it. Here you go. So tell me, with all that bullshit in mind, are we really supposed to believe that this fucking game is supposed to actually be played through? I'm not buying it. I think the reason this shit is considered weird and bizarre and it's the butt of everybody's joke is because it's like not even a fucking game, seriously. Sure, maybe it was just rushed, or maybe this was just a piece of shitty software made by a toy company for the NES which was marketed as a toy here in the States. And another interesting thing, Friday the 13th is a North American exclusive. It didn't come out anywhere else in the world, probably because all us Americans are dumb enough to fucking play this shit.
Worst weapon.
I don't know what to say, dude. Like, there's something wrong. This is not right.
I think it's really bad RNG, personally.
You know what the real problem is with this piece of shit? It's just playable enough to get people to keep coming back to it and play it on occasion. Plus, it's a licensed Friday the 13th product. Now, if this was just fucking garbage and completely fucking unplayable, it would just be sitting on a shelf somewhere and nobody would really give a shit. We wouldn't feel the need to fucking play this thing. But it's just playable enough to get us to fucking play it on occasion. But not me. Not anymore. I've beaten this fucking thing and I'm never going back to it again. So now that I've nailed myself to the cross for your amusement, please subscribe.